fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Rise of Tyranny 2-pack from the Transformers Legacy Evolution line from Hasbro. Now this set is an Amazon exclusive, but is also a kind of a shared exclusive with Hasbro Pulse. They always have their own exclusives as well. And you can see here we have Minor Megatron, back from the IDW Megatron Origins comic. And then we have Senator RatBat. So before RatBat was a tiny cassette in Soundwave's chest, he was a full-on, normal-sized robot and a Senator of Cybertron. So really like the packaging here. Of course, we have the plastic-free packaging, so there's no plastic windows or anything. But that allows for some really nice artwork here across the front. Up top here, we just have the Legacy Evolution logo. Over here, we have what will be, I believe, the front of the other 2-pack that I've already reviewed, because you can see part of Senator Shockwave over here. And then you have the kind of classic, half of the Legacy Evolution mural there. Not really too much going on the bottom. Megatron's legs kind of wrap around the bottom a little bit. And then spinning it around to the back, we have some nice product shots of the robot modes and the alt modes, and showing the Evo Fusion gimmick of just kind of pegging a few of the different weapons together. So, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here are Minor Megatron and Senator RatBat out of the packaging. Now, these two did come packaged in robot mode, which I thought was interesting, because Senator Shockwave and Data Clerk Orion Pax came packaged in vehicle mode, so I guess it's just whatever fits better in the box. But these guys are looking pretty good. I really do like Minor Megatron. Now, it is the Siege Megatron mold. Again, it feels like the 4th, 5th, 6th time that we're getting this mold. There's definitely some mold fatigue, and we'll get into that when I, dive into Minor Megatron. And then over here we have Senator RatBat, done from Studio Series 86 Scourge / Sweep. It's good. I think this one still holds up pretty well. Really nice paint applications and everything. But like I said, I'm going to dive into both of these guys separately. So just initial impressions, I think they both look fantastic. Definitely some mold fatigue there. This guy over here, pretty great. So let's go ahead. Let's take a closer look at Minor Megatron. So here is Minor Megatron, and you can see right off the bat, my knees are really loose. Down here at the ankles, they don't kind of snap in. Like this one over here, when you're using the ankle tilt, you kind of have to unsnap it. This one will snap back into place. This one doesn't really snap back into place. Kind of loose there. The heels are kind of weird and don't seem like they situate all the way they're supposed to. I think they're supposed to go all the way back, but maybe I'm just misremembering because it's been a while. But definitely this knee is very loose. The hips aren't too bad, but I mean, it just has a general loose feeling to it, unfortunately. He still looks good, and you can get him to pose, so it's not a huge problem. It's just mold fatigue. It's just these molds have been used so many times, and, things just turn out to get loose, and they just don't hold up as well as the first time. So, but he looks great. I really like the whole caution tape thing. That's looking great. All of the paint applications here in the torso, I think, look really sharp. The head sculpt looks fantastic. I think they did a great job with that. Those glowing, piercing red eyes really pop, and I think that's fantastic. All the silver for the face looks good. He's got this pickaxe weapon with a little bit of pink here, which I think looks really nice. And then instead of his signature fusion cannon, he's got this kind of drill piece here because he is a miner. So, of course, he's got a drill, he's got a pickaxe. It makes total sense. He is not the Megatron we know and love at this stage of the game, but he will be soon. But yeah, I mean, overall, the color scheme's good. It's a really dark gunmetal gray. I think looks pretty good. I guess we'll get the Evo Fusion out of the way. Basically, all the Evo Fusion is, you can play with these and mix and match. This does unpeg. So if you wanted to make this almost kind of like a crossbow, you could maybe plug that in there. Or maybe take this out and maybe pop this on. So that way he could hold the crossbow. You can just kind of mix and match these pieces, whatever you want. It's not the most inventive gimmick, but I don't know. The Evo Fusion definitely made sense for certain things, and now they just have to kind of cram it on for everything. I just like the normal weapons, but again, I think the crossbow is kind of neat that you can kind of build, but I do just kind of like these weapons, and I don't think he really needs much else, but I will take them off temporarily so we can get into articulation. Now, I believe in terms of the original mold, the chest is new. I think even the shoulder pads are new. The head is definitely new. I think everything else is the same. So articulation should not be that much of a surprise. You can kind of, like, this whole light gray panel that the head is on kind of sinks in for transformation. You can use that for articulation if you want, but just the actual ball joint that the head's on can look up and down very minorly. Get it? Minor? Anyway, we can look side to side, no problem there. But the head looks great. Arms out to the side on a hinge, as well as a rotation. You have a swivel right above the elbow. You have maybe slightly over 90, like 92 degrees there in the elbow. Nothing in the wrist because the hand folds into the forearm for transformation. You do have a waist swivel there. Hips can kick pretty far forward. Kick decently back. You do start to hit into the backpack and kick pretty far out to the side. We have a thigh swivel there, 90 degrees in the knee, and then that ankle tilt that I mentioned earlier. Okay, that can happen apparently. So that just hopefully pops back on. This is what I'm talking about when I say, see, I'm trying to unhook. Yeah, I'm trying to unhook the ankle tilt. There we go. And it's, I guess, this is, you can see the kind of clasp that it is. Let me show you. So nothing broke. Like, it's still there. It's just not holding on super tightly. I guess maybe push on that if you want to get to the ankle tilt. But this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. He's not a floppy mess, but he's very closely approaching floppy mess status, unfortunately. And maybe my copy's just worse than most. That's very possible. I can still get him to stand, though. I can still get him to pose, and he still looks cool. But, I mean, it's not going to take much for him to kind of rock back. Well, now he's holding. All right, hey, he wants to prove me wrong? Please prove me wrong. So, yeah, so that's just kind of a bummer. Can I push this on? I mean, it'll stay on there. It's not like anything's broken. It's just loose. See, there you go. See how he kind of wants to start preparing for the limbo. But if you can get a pose where everything's balanced, he can still hold the pose. And it's a shame because he looks good. Honestly, I think it's one of the better uses of the Siege mold. It's just, unfortunately, it came at the end. And as a result, from the, I would say the torso and the arms are pretty solid still. But definitely the knees and the feet, they're feeling it. But he still looks good. But yeah, even the hips a little bit. Definitely the knees and the feet and the ankles. There we go. So he can look good. We will go ahead. Let's get into his transformation. So if you've owned this mold in any of its many iterations, I'm sure you know the transformation by now, so we'll go pretty quickly. Fold the hands into the forearms. Come down here, fold the heels into the foot. If you have those ankles clicked over, click them all the way in. Man, the more I fiddle with him, the looser and looser he gets. That's really a shame. Okay, so now we're going to kind of like pull the, how do I do this? Yeah, this lifts up. Now, I thought this lifted up, but I don't think it does. I think you just kind of pull it back. And that will allow these, because these are kind of tabbed in. So there's a tab here that goes in here. I don't think this like officially lifts away or anything. You just kind of like maneuver it. So you just kind of like, you know, once you have this out of the way, then this gets a little looser. Now this spins, but I don't think you're supposed to spin it. So there's that. This will kind of just sit like this. Maybe the other versions of it spun that around. I don't know. Can't remember. These will hinge out to the side. There we go. This panel here needs to come inside, so make sure that can get around and fold in. And then this will kind of collapse in. But you have to get this, so you can kind of see how there's like a ledge here. And this hinge has to get on this side of it, so you kind of have to wiggle this in. and I'm probably doing this wrong, but like I said, I'm just going off of memory because I've done this 100 times. There we go. There we go. Get that in there. And you want to just make sure that it kind of fills this area and goes back as far as it can. I think it can go. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This comes down and has tabs on the sides. So we got to move this, and then this tabs in to this and this. That tabs in there like so. Oh, there we go. That could go in even further. Okay, good, good, good. There we go. Okay, so that's how that's supposed to be. You can just fold these up for now. We'll come back to that later. Then we're going to spin the waist 180 degrees, like so. We are going to flip these panels out on the legs, like this. Then you want to kind of put these out to the side, and you can see that there's a pin here in the thigh, kind of right above the knee, and that's going to bend 90 degrees like that. And then what you want to do is rotate this. You want to hold the hip so that doesn't move around, but then you need to bring this around. And then you want to keep it like this because you need the hinge so that this can kind of go out to the side, so that when you flip this back, there's a big tab slot right there and a tab on the hip. So that goes up, and then that pops into place. Boom. Gonna repeat that over here. So bend this 90 degrees, hold on to this, rotate this around on that thigh swivel, bend down, flip up, peg into place, and then you can see we're pretty much done. The feet just kind of hang out there like that. Then we will come back to this, where we will take our two weapons. We will disconnect the pickaxe piece. This will peg on like so. And then these two big tabs will tab in here on what were the shoulders. So pop that on one side, flip it in, flip this one in, tab that there. And boom, we got our drill tank. This you can just kind of put wherever you want. I think the directions, peg it in here. If you think it looks a little better back here, whatever you want. If you don't want to peg it in at all, you could sit it off to the side. I kind of wish there was somewhere I could peg it in, like back in this open area, but not the case. But there is our little drill tank. I think it looks pretty good. Again, I really like the color scheme. I think that works really well. You can kind of manually spin this, but I guess this is still a turret. I guess that's ultimately why that moves around. I feel like it doesn't lay flat, and it's probably something I did, but it does have wheels on the bottom, so it can roll. And if you can get all four of them actually on the ground at the same time, it rolls pretty well. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's just a little drill tank machine, and I think it fits the bill. And I do like it in the color scheme. I really do like it. I think the caution tape really breaks up the darker color scheme, and it just really pops against the darker color scheme, so I really like that a lot. And then, of course, a little pop of pink as well. But yeah, there is our vehicle mode for Minor Megatron. Next up, we have Senator RatBat, and I think he looks pretty fantastic. They did a really nice job here, especially with the new head sculpt. I think that looks great. Again, really nice bright gold eyes there. Silver on the face. A little bit of gold up here. All of this gold here on the chest I think looks fantastic. This whole chest has been remolded. Head's obviously new. I think the collar is also different. I don't know how much else. I think the whole legs and everything are the same. Maybe the shoulders up here are new. I would say this is probably all the same. And I think all this stuff on the back is the same. So all in all, you know, pretty decent retool of Scourge. But he looks great. I really like him a lot. Because it is from Scourge, he does have that one kind of like claw hand, and then the one hand that can hold the blaster. I think actually the claw hand can also hold the blaster. I think that was something they did when they did it as Scourge the first time. One was a claw hand and one was a holding hand, and then when they did Scourge, I think they switched it. So like if you were crazy and you wanted to unscrew everything and give, you know, two of the same, you could. I think that happened. I could be wrong. Feel free to yell at me in the comments and tell me that I'm wrong, but I think that happened. In any case, I think he looks good. I really like it. I like that both hands can hold the blaster. That's fine. I really like all the paint on the chest. I think the head sculpt looks really good. He's got, you know, all the kind of Scourge backpack, but makes sense because he's RatBat, so he would have wings of some kind. So I think this mold was a good choice. I think that all really works. And we saw this mold recently as Alpha Trion in that Hero is Born set. And I think it worked pretty well there too. So getting some good use out of this mold. Still feels pretty solid. I don't have any problems with mold fatigue like I do with Megatron. All in all, I think he's pretty good. Head is on a ball joint, so you can look up pretty decently, look down decently, spin side to side. You can even tilt side to side. No problems there. You have a rotation and a hinge for the shoulder. You have a bicep swivel. You have, I would even say, slightly over 90 at the elbow. You do have a wrist swivel. We have a waist swivel here. Kick not that far forward. No, you can actually kick pretty far back, even though the backpack's there. Kick out to the side pretty well. I think he's got a thigh swivel hidden in there. Yeah, he's got a thigh swivel. It's a little tight, though. Can't do too much. 90 degrees there in the knee, and then we do have ankle tilt. So, all in all, I think it's a pretty good use of the mold. I think it works. Makes sense to give him something with wings. I think that works well. And the color scheme's great. The paint applications are pretty sharp. You know, the deep purple, kind of a plum, I guess, and the black, I think, work, especially with the pop of gold. Really nice. So, yeah, all in all, pretty nice robot mode here. Let's go ahead and get into the transformation. So this is another one we've seen quite a few times at this point, so I'm going to go fairly quickly. Going to just make sure you don't have any of the ankle tilt deployed. Fold in the back heels, and then close up the feet like so. Straighten out the legs, and then peg them together. They will probably come unpegged during the course of this, but that's fine. Then you want to kind of put a nail in here where the black meets the purple and pop this piece down like so. And that will extend all the way down to about there. You can see that there is a tab here on the side of the leg that will peg into this little spot here on the forearm. So that comes down and that pegs in like so. We're going to repeat that on the other side. Swing that down and peg that into place. And again, the legs did come unpegged as I predicted they would. At this point, we have to unpeg the wings. They were pegged in with this tab in this little spot right here. So make sure that they are unpegged, which will allow you to grab a hold of this and bring this whole section out. This will pop all the way like so. This will pop down. This will fold out to cover the face like so. And make sure this is lined up. And then this will extend, and this piece will flip up and cover the back of the head. So they do a pretty good job of hiding that head. I think that worked pretty well. This is going to come down. You can see that there are 2 tab slots right there, which are going to go into these 2 tabs here on the back of the legs. Before you do that, there's also a tab slot right there, which will tab into that tab right there. So you kind of have to push this one down first, and that will allow you to line these up. So that is all nice and good. Then we're going to come to these pieces and extend them down like so. This will clip onto this. You can see that there's kind of like a little T-piece here that will connect onto this right there. So this will come in and connect that on there. This will fold out. You can fold this up. Do the same over here on this. So flip this up. Connect that. Flip this out. This is not wanting. There we go. Flip this up. And then you just fold these in on this kind of double hinge right here. So this is going to come in. And then it will tab in back here. So make sure this is all out. Bring this in and tab this in like so. There we go. Fold this in. And then there's a little clip here in the front that you want to make sure they clip in. Make sure this tabs in. There we are. And then last step is to just fold these wings up underneath. And there we go. We have Senator RatBat in the... I still don't know what the sweeps turn into. I'll be honest. It's like a space surfboard. I don't know what the heck this thing is. But it's just kind of a generic flying object. But it works. Like I said, I think they did a pretty good job to hide his head there. The color scheme still works with the purple and the black. Certainly less gold now, but still a little bit here. The gun can peg in anywhere you want. There's a spot on this side. There's a spot on this side. I do kind of wish there was somewhere to peg it on the top. You know, somewhere in here, maybe back here or something, but not that big a deal. But yeah, cool little vehicle mode, and I think, again, it works well, and I love the color scheme for it. So yeah, there we go. That is Senator RatBat transformed. I think this is a pretty fun 2-pack. Aesthetically, I think they both look fantastic. We definitely need to retire the Siege mold for Megatron, though. I feel like to do it again would be irresponsible. It's just not holding up. And maybe mine's worse than most, and I hope that's the case because I hope they're not all out there this loose. And you can still pose him, and he still looks good, so it's not a huge problem, but I really just feel like we need to let that mold go. It's been the kind of definitive Megatron mold for 5 years now at this point, so I think we kind of need to just let that one go. But he still looks good. Senator RatBat, I think, is a lot of fun. You know, this mold's much newer, still holds up. Don't really have any problems with this one whatsoever. Head sculpt's great. You know, the new molded chest, very nicely painted. I don't really have any problems with this guy whatsoever. And I really like this. I really do. I wish he wasn't so floppy. But other than that, it's a pretty nice 2-pack. Now, as I said earlier, it is an Amazon exclusive, but also available on Hasbro Pulse. When Amazon put them up, all of the listings were backwards. Like, they switched the two. So we thought that they switched the price. Really, they switched the listings. So the prices were correct on Amazon. I don't know if they have fixed it as of this recording. They might still be the wrong way. But whichever one is the more expensive is going to be these two. Whichever one is a little bit cheaper is going to be the other one with Senator Shockwave and Data Clerk Orion Pack. Speaking of which, I have them right here, so why don't we do a fun group shot with everybody? Maybe we'll put him over here. I don't know. Senator Shockwave is so bulky. He's not good for family photos. So here are the two IDW 2-packs that we have so far. Obviously, they just announced some more at SDCC, which is pretty cool. So we'll have 3 more coming out. And I know one of them's Nova Prime. One of them is the 2-pack with Javelin and the other person whose name I can't remember. And then there's that other Seeker, Nacelle, I think it's called. So we definitely have some more IDW stuff coming down the pike, but here are the 4 we have so far, which is pretty fun. I've been enjoying it so far. Out of the 2-packs, probably would hand it to the other one just because of Megatron's floppy problems. But it's not to put this one down. They both look good. I really do like these quite a bit. And you're getting 2 full-size Voyagers, why this one's a little bit more expensive than the other one, but if you're buying it on Hasbro Pulse, what you see is what you'll get. If you're buying them on Amazon, do a little bit of checking and make sure you're not getting the wrong one because they had the whole listing assigned to the wrong price, and because of that, whatever price you paid is the one you were getting. So people were ordering the other one and getting this one and vice versa. So just be a little careful with that. But yeah, I think they're fun. I definitely love him. I like him a lot. But for obvious reasons, he can't get like a full perfect score. But Senator RatBat's pretty fantastic. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did you pick this up? Does your Megatron also have some floppy knees? I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.